Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Savvy Street DIYs with Shanice. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I created my herringbone accent wall without using any stencil. So if you're interested in that, then hang tight. So this video will actually be one of maybe 2 or 3 videos of my entire home office sort of transformation or extreme makeover, whatever you want to call it, that's what it'll be. But before we hop into the video, I would love to ask you, if you are new here to my channel, if you are not subscribed, to please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is my space where I will share all of my budget-friendly home decor and DIY projects that I'll be using to transform my house into a home. If that's something that you're interested in, like this video and subscribe to my channel. So let's hop right into the video. Okay, so here's a quick preview of what the office looked like prior to getting started. Yes, we did move into this house 2.5 years ago, and I am finally tackling this office. My husband did buy an IKEA bookshelf and got some of his books up, but I have yet to do anything with my things. Stick through to the end and I will share my pros and cons about what I used to create that back accent wall. So of course, phase 1 is going through all of these boxes to sort of getting rid of everything that I don't need and cleaning up the space a bit, which I accomplished here, as you can see. We'll be purchasing another IKEA bookshelf to go on the opposite side of my husband's. Hi guys, so today we are in my home office and we're going to be doing a little painting today. So when we bought this house, this room was staged as an office, but they also painted the room white. But after we actually moved in, we realized that this room was originally yellow, and there were a lot of flaws in the paint job that they did. So before I actually put the accent wall that I want on this back wall in the office, we need to get it white without any of the yellow kind of bleeding through on the white. On camera you can't really tell, but it definitely has a yellow undertone, and then there's all these spots that were missed when they were painting. So and I'll actually show that to you. So before we get started, we'll be painting this room, and then I have a nice accent wall that I want to kind of paint on this back wall, which will be kind of cool. The colors that I'm going for in my office are black and kind of beige and cream, kind of like earth tones. So I want to make sure that there's no yellow bleed through on the walls at all. And I'm actually going to show you where you can see the yellow. It actually looks better on camera than it does in life. But let me take a look. Let me show you. So here you can see where the wall meets the ceiling, there's a yellow bleed through. There's yellow spots throughout the entire office walls, and there's also yellow spots around the sockets and the light switch. I also want to replace those face plates because some are white in the office, some are beige. And then if we go over here to the windows, around the windows it's yellow and you can see it. I actually will be painting that curtain, that Roman shade, black. So we're going to get rid of all the yellow. So yesterday I was able to actually sort of paint all of the walls, except for behind that. That is probably gonna not get painted behind because it is bolted to the wall, and yeah, I don't think I'm not doing it. That's just all I'm gonna say. I have to paint the ceiling. So I did a little here, but I need to finish. Obviously I need to do the entire ceiling. But yeah, that, and then get into these crevices, and like I said, get this floorboard. I got paint on it last night, so I'm just gonna paint them white. I'm just gonna repaint them. Originally, these were the color of the floor, which I didn't like because it looks like your floor is crawling up your wall, and I think that I just personally do not like it. So I spray painted those white originally, but now this white, because I didn't tape it off, we're gonna have to fix this.
Today I'm gonna paint some walls, everything, and then we stop at the first, and then we start doing it, and then you do everything, and then when I paint, then mommy's gonna do this strumpy tape, and I'm gonna do painting when mommy does this stripy paint, and then that's enough.
Say bye.
Bye.
All right, this is officially day 2. Yesterday I accomplished maybe 70% of the painting, but today I have to really prep, and I'm gonna be taking down the blinds, and now I realize I have to paint the floorboards because it's not looking pretty, and I also have to paint the door because now with this white in here, the door really looks kind of dingy looking. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, and we have London here with us, so say hi.
Hi.
All right, so let's get started. Okay, now that we have the office cleaned and we've painted the walls so that we don't see any yellow, I wanted to practice drawing these herringbone lines on this piece of paper before I actually started to put them on the walls. So I grabbed this cardboard that my son had in his room and used it as a straight edge to get some practice in before I started to kind of put it on the wall. And I hung that there, opted for a darker stroke line. And this is the acrylic paint permanent marker that I'll be using. Now the instructions on this permanent acrylic marker say to shake well and press down on the nib several times before using. So we want to basically saturate the tip of this marker with the acrylic paint. So now I'm going to take the cardboard to use as my straight edge, and I am going to basically just start drawing or writing the lines on the walls. I am not using a ruler to space the lines. I am just kind of going with the flow. I am okay with it not looking perfect. So here is a close-up of what it looks like. I put the cardboard up against the wall. I draw the line along the edge of the cardboard. I am forced to sort of do multiple strokes with the acrylic paint marker because my wall is textured. So that did get a bit time consuming because I had to do that. But I just continued this throughout the entire wall. So now here I'm continuing on my second row, again doing the same steps as I did with the first row, and I will continue this throughout the entire wall. Did you notice my shades are no longer burgundy? My curtains, I spray painted them. If you want to know how I did that, I do have a video and I will share that in the description box below.
And here I am just continuing on along the wall. I will say my rows did not come out perfectly straight. My lines are not always straight, but I'm still happy with the outcome nonetheless. Now, as I'm nearing completion on the wall, this is when I started having a lot of issues with the acrylic marker. So it continued to sort of drip every time I tried to press down on the tip of the marker to release more paint. It literally just drip and splatter on the ground or splatter on the baseboards. So I opted to get a foam brush, which I had, and some acrylic paint, which again I also had at home, to complete the wall. Now that I have most of the wall complete with an exception of the bottom, I took a Q-tip and some white paint that I had from painting the wall and tried to clean up some of the drip lines, and in time I'll also go through and sort of clean up the lines a little more. But for now, I just focused on the heavy drips that I saw in the lines. Now, originally I was gonna leave that bottom sort of blank, but then I decided to go ahead and fill in the bottom. And voila, my home office accent wall is complete. Remember, this is gonna be part 1. I'll be styling and designing this room in part 2 and possibly part 3.
Well, if you are still here, as promised at the beginning, I want to share some of my pros and cons. Number 1, if you are a person that needs your lines to be crisp and line up and be perfectly symmetrical, then the acrylic marker is definitely not for you. I would opt to get the stencil. Number 2, if you have a textured wall like mine, so my wall is textured. If you have a textured wall and it's a large wall that you're trying to work with, I would also opt for the stencil. The textured wall, I find that after I got through so much of the lines, I guess parts of the marker started to sort of dry up. And when it started to dry up, anytime I pressed down on the marker to sort of bring more paint to the tip of the marker, it would drip. Now, this didn't happen immediately. It happened after the use of the pen for so long. So I guess you can say maybe 40 or, maybe an hour into it, I noticed that the dripping started to happen with the marker. So definitely opt for the stencil. If you were to ask me if I would do this all over again, what would I choose? Again, I would probably go the stencil route and spend just a tad bit more money, only because this wall is pretty large and the wall is also textured. So that posed a couple of delays and challenges as I was trying to work my way through the entire wall. And if you have any questions about anything that I use, I will link all of the items in the description box below. If you have any questions about my process and how long it took me and everything, please feel free to leave me a comment and I would be happy to answer any and all of your questions. And if you like this video, again, give me a like and hit that subscribe button, and bye for now.